Okay, so welcome to today's course. This is Cynthia Ray. I'm a registered dietitian and fitness specialist. And this week we are doing a 5-day sugar detox boot camp. And this is day 5. We've made all 5 days, Monday through Friday. We've talked about a variety of things this week. We've talked about emotions and emotional eating. We've talked about restocking your pantry. Um, we've talked about eating more mindfully. Actually, we're going to talk about a little bit more about that today and giving you some tips and tricks on how to overcome food cravings. I gave you a little tip sheet with some ideas of foods that you can eat as sweet treat alternatives this week. So you've learned a lot. You've probably grown a lot. I mean, just deciding to take sugar out of your life for 5 days, especially if you've been really struggling with it in the past, is challenging. I mean, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. So, congratulations on making it this far. If you haven't watched all 5 videos yet, you can find them on my YouTube channel. You can find them on in our Facebook group. Um, but go there and go back if you need to, or if this is the first time you're seeing this, go back to the first 4 videos and you'll get a really good overview of what's been going on, and you can catch up with what's happening in this group and all the amazing transformations that people are making in this process. So welcome again. And like I said, today is day 5. So let's go ahead and dive into the information for today. So for today on day 5, we're going to be talking about breaking the cycle forever, breaking the sugar slash carb addiction cycle forever. So I know it seems like a big promise, but I've been through it myself. I've struggled with my own addiction to sugar, with my own addiction to carbs in the past, in my early 20s and late teens, actually even up to my mid 20s. I really struggled with my relationship with food. I was doing a low fat diet. And at that time in the 90s, it was a thing, right? Everything needed to be low fat so you wouldn't get fat. Um, but then it turned into a carbohydrate cycle addiction for me. So I ended up constantly craving and binging on carbohydrates, whether they were sweet treats or ice cream or just carbs in general. I couldn't get enough of it and really struggled. I would tell myself I'm not going to eat this anymore. And then the next day, lo and behold, I did my best to try to hold back from eating carbs, but all I could think about was sugar because I was undernourished. I didn't have those healthy fats in my diet that I described earlier this week. I had a low protein diet, low calorie diet, trying to lose weight. And it just got really hectic and chaotic and stressful. And I craved carbs even more. So, through God's grace, through God's favor and love um, for me and help wanting me to have a better life, I was able to free myself from this carbohydrate and sugar addiction and go to counseling, go to therapy, go to group counseling, and completely healed myself or was healed from my addiction to carbohydrates, when I was able to lead a balanced life when it comes to sugar and just life in general, just my nutrition in general. I am, like I said, I'm a registered dietitian. I've been in private practice for about a little over 20 years now. I've worked with lots of clients in my practice. I've been doing group coaching for at least 6 years now, actually more than that, about 9. Now that my daughter's 9, I can't believe it. Um, but I've really seen how women, especially, but also men, struggle in this area. And it's my mission to reach out to you all and help you out of this feeling of slavery to carbohydrates and to sugar, and to move you in the freedom that I found in my life and I've helped so many others do as well. So let's talk about how to break the cycle forever. And I'm excited to bring you into this new place of living, and that you don't have to be a slave to it anymore, that you can live in freedom and vitality and energy that God meant you to live. So let's move on and continue breaking through. So this 5-day sugar detox boot camp is actually the precursor. It's kind of like the jump start to getting you into sugar detoxing. Because next week we're going to be going through my 21-day sugar detox book together. It's the 21-day sugar detox, the fast track to crushing cravings, losing weight, and feeling better now. Right? There's actually a ton of tools in here. It's a 21-day devotional style reading. You can pick it up at on my website, 21dayswithoutsugar.com. You can find it there, or it's on Amazon. However, I would recommend that you go on my website instead to find it, 21dayswithoutsugar.com, because if you go on Amazon and you put 21 day sugar detox, you're going to find a ton of books. It's been hard to find this one. So this one, it's actually number one best-selling book on Amazon. I launched it, actually published it on Amazon on December 19th, just this past year in 2022. So pick up a copy. We're going to be going through this together starting next Monday, this coming Monday. And we're going to have a private group. We're going to be going through this book together day to day. I'm going to be coaching you in it and going day to day. And I'm going to teach you how to crush your sugar cravings and how to live in freedom without feeling addicted to sugar or a slave to it anymore, and finding the life that you really are meant to live. So hope to see you in the group on Monday. I'll post a link at the bottom of this post or video, and you'll be able to find how to join us in that group. It's only $17. We're going to go through it together for 21 days, probably more like 30, because I'm going to show you how to live a life without sugar after we're all done. So anyway, so welcome to that group and welcome here. So today, let's go and dive in. Let's talk about learning how to easily exit the sugar cycle and break free. So if you have been watching these videos and been following this week, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me your name, where you're from, and how you have grown in this process this week. How are you feeling at this point? We're on day 5. You've made a big decision to cut sugar out of your life. How has it challenged you, and how have you grown in this process? Tell me below. If you have any great weight loss stories, share those with me too. I love, love, love hearing your testimony and how things are going, because it not only encourages me, but it's going to encourage so many to have hope that they can do the same. So please share in the comments how you've experienced breakthrough in your life this week and how you're feeling. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so let's go and talk about learning how to break out of the sugar cycle. I'm going to share with you first what the sugar cycle is and what that looks like. Let me grab my screen here. Okay. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is what the carb addiction cycle looks like. And you'll see here that I think I might have talked about a little bit about this before earlier on, but I just want to reiterate. So this is the carb addiction cycle. If you're feeling like you are trapped at this point, or you just go to carbs automatically, this is actually what's happening. So as you can see here, so you start with eating carbs. Well, before that's even, you're craving them, right? Because you have low blood sugar. Okay, so we start out with low blood sugar. You're craving more carbohydrates to get your blood sugar levels back up. Then you eat carbohydrates, and that could be anything from sugar to breads to white flour, things like that that are more addictive. And then you're going to go into high blood sugar when you are, more often than not, when you have low blood sugar, you're craving carbohydrates. The cravings are really strong and you end up overeating carbohydrates. So because you're overeating carbohydrates, you end up with elevated or high blood sugar. And then because of that high blood sugar, our body's response metabolically is to release insulin hormone. It's a metabolic hormone that's released from our pancreas. And that's released in order to take the sugar that's in our blood, put it into our blood cells, our blood cells for energy production, right? So we gain energy. And sometimes if our blood sugar is too high, insulin will actually overreact, and too much insulin will come in to compensate for the amount of sugar in your bloodstream. And it'll actually end up crashing your blood sugar below normal levels. And you end up really sleepy, tired, groggy, headache, just not feeling well because you have that blood sugar crash, the high and the crash. So after this happens, once insulin is released, and it'll be in high amounts if you have high blood sugar, and the release of insulin actually prompts your body to store body fat. So that's kind of what it does. It wakens up that part of your system, of your metabolic system, and it ends up not turning into fat, but it ends up driving those calories into turning into a body fat storage mode, and you end up storing more body fat production occurs. And then when this is happening, if you have any emotion, it's not here, but if you have an emotion that's triggering a craving, or you're just have come into low blood sugar again because you ate a lot of carbs, you have a lot of insulin, body fat production, and now you're at low blood sugar again, cravings go up, eating carbs, and then so on. The cycle continues. This is very common. And like I said before in videos prior, the best way to break this is to identify over here, identify emotions that would be triggering you to crave carbohydrates, whether it's being too hungry, too angry, too lonely, too tired, too overwhelmed, what have you. You have strong emotions. You can exit this cycle by addressing those emotions with emotional responses. So you could call a friend, you could organize something, change the place and part in your brain to kind of distract you by organizing something, a purse, a wallet, a drawer, a cabinet, what have you, your car, your phone, something like that. Um, Organize something to help you get out of that mode. You can also walk away for 30 minutes and go outside, get some exercise, get some fresh air, pray, meditate, find some scripture that'll help you. Even taking a hot shower is really helpful, but just getting out of that place and being able to soothe emotions with emotional solutions. And if you're feeling like your blood sugar is low, maybe you can grab some minerals or a little bit of salt, put it on your tongue and grab some water, and it'll help to refresh you a little bit. You might notice that it'll just help to even out your blood sugar a little bit too. So go for a walk too, that'll really help. And then when you come back to your food, if you feel like you still need some, eat it mindfully and slowly. Sit with it, enjoy it, and avoid eating quickly. Okay. So this will help you get out of this particular carb addiction cycle. All right, let me close this up. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and dive back into what we were talking about. So let me give you a few tips on how to exit the cycle. So just setting your intention this week and saying no for now to sugar is a great way to exit it. Know what your triggers are, that more carbs equals more hunger, less satiety, and more fat deposits in your body, elevating your insulin, and just being aware of those emotional triggers for you. And instead, eating a balanced diet that's higher in healthy fat. I can't reiterate that anymore, but that higher in healthy fat is going to blunt your appetite, and you're going to feel so much better. Your blood sugars be so balanced. You're going to start using your fat stores for energy instead of using your the sugar that you're taking in, and you're going to lose weight in the process. So learn what to choose to eat instead of eating sugary foods. Like I just said, have your grab and go alternatives set up. Maybe grabbing a scoop of peanut butter, grabbing half of an avocado, a handful of nuts. Foods like that are going to instantly balance you out and just help you feel better overall. Those high fat foods, high healthy fat foods. Taking magnesium is really helpful. Taking vitamin B is really helpful, and L-glutamine daily will help to offset sugar cravings. So magnesium, I like magnesium glycinate or the Calm. There's a kind of magnesium. It's in a container and it's called Calm, and it's in a powder form, and you can put it in warm water and drink it as a tea. So it's called Calm, CALM, and it really helps you to feel relaxed. Magnesium glycinate in capsules is really great as well, especially if you have like jumpy leg when you're resting. That really helps because that's actually a magnesium deficiency. So magnesium is amazing. Vitamin B is just great for stabilizing mood. It's great for your brain. So utilize vitamin B on a daily basis. Also, L-glutamine is an amino acid that helps to offset cravings. So if you take a little capsule of it, put it under your tongue when you're having a craving, or just taking L-glutamine daily to keep your stores high will help to offset cravings as well. So I have one more thing to share with you. It is a food cravings chart, which I thought was really fascinating, and I would love to share with you all. Okay, so this L-glutamine chart is so cool. So, I know L-glutamine chart, this food cravings chart is really cool. So, as you can tell, as you can see here, let me see if I can make it bigger for you. Yes, that's it. Okay, so this food cravings chart is really cool because it shows you the foods that you're craving. So if you're craving chocolate, what is actually happening is you actually need magnesium, nuts, seeds, veggies, and fruit. Okay. Most women who crave chocolate during their cycle is because we're low in magnesium, and that's because of our hormonal shifting. Actually creates greater need for magnesium and carbohydrates in general, especially around day 21 of your cycle, um, about 10 days before you actually have a period. You're going to have a higher need for carbohydrates to have for your hormones to function properly. And but you can do healthy carbohydrates. You can do fruit. You can do sweet potatoes. Um, and more plant carbohydrates that'll help you squash things like that will help to provide the carbohydrates that you need with great nutrition. And then just taking a magnesium supplement or just eating more healthy veggies will help to get your magnesium up and provide you the things that you need and will offset your cravings for chocolate. Chocolate in its natural form is actually really high in magnesium. Cocoa beans and from the cocoa plant are really high in magnesium. So that's actually what we're needing. The other thing here is sugary foods. Sugary foods, you might be craving chromium, carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, and tryptophan. This is what you actually need, which you can find in broccolis, grapes, cheese and chicken, fresh fruit, chicken, beef, fatty fish, eggs, dairy, nuts, veggies, and grains. It's for phosphorus, sulfur, cranberries, horseradish, cabbage, cauliflower, tryptophan, cheese, raisins, sweet potatoes, and spinach. So all of these whole healthy foods are actually what we do need because our body's asking for chromium, carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, and tryptophan instead of sugar. Okay. If you're craving bread, pasta, or other carbs, you are needing nitrogen. High protein foods such as meat, fatty fish, nuts, beans, and chia seeds are high nitrogen foods. If you're craving oily foods, you need more calcium. Organic milk, cheese, green leafy vegetables. So cool. Salty foods, if you're craving salt, may need more chloride and more silicone. So fatty fish, goat milk, cashews, nuts, and seeds. So you can use this. I'll post this in our group too, or in this video. So this is such a great resource. You can even take a screenshot of this if you're watching when you're watching this video. Um, this is such a great resource to know what your body's actually needing. But if you're eating whole, healthy food with a variety of plants and meats and healthy fats, you're going to be getting these foods naturally. Even taking a multivitamin is okay too. But making sure that you're getting in these things is what's going to offset those cravings overall. All right, so let me close this out. Okay, so let's go back to how to offset these cravings. So, enjoying simple carbs as a treat is always an option. Choosing a day of the week. I know my family likes to do a dessert day, so we'll do as a family. I think we were doing a weekend day or a Wednesday. So we choose middle of the week. The kids are excited. They know that we get to go out as a family, enjoy a special sweet treat together. And it's optional. They don't have to eat something that day. And if none of us feel like it, then we just skip it and we go to our alternative day, which is a weekend day, usually a Saturday. And we'll go out and enjoy gelato together. We love gelato. It's our favorite family treat. So we'll go find our favorite gelato spot in town, grab that. I love a good affogato. Affogato is gelato, which is gelato's Italian ice cream, basically. I love getting a scoop of gelato with a little bit of espresso over it. I love coffee and I love gelato. So for me, it's like perfect combination. Only eat your favorite dessert. Never settle. If you have a sweet treat that is your ultimate favorite, only get that thing. Don't settle for whatever happens to be around, but save your sweet treat for something that's really special. That's my number one tip. um, like I said, plan your sugar intake and make it a low occurrence event. Just choose once a week. That's plenty or less. Maybe even just save it for a special event, or maybe someone in your life is really good at baking amazing sweet treat goods and save your sweet treat opportunity for that particular moment. Okay. If you feel like you're triggered by eating one source, a sugary treat, if you feel like you're triggered to eat more and it's just like an endless cycle for you, maybe take a break from it for a little bit longer and use that time to identify emotions, identify your triggers that are keeping you in the sugar cycle, and then also Or you can use a sweet treat alternative list that I provided for you if you feel like you want a little something sweet. But take a little bit more time if you need more time to detox. Join the 21-day sugar detox group that we're going to be doing on Monday, and it'll help you give you a little extra boost and some motivation and inspiration and community to help you through any cravings that you're having. So take a break from it for a little longer if you feel like it's too much, if it's too triggering for you. Um, Select a day of the week, like I said. Avoid using sweet treats as a reward to calm anxiety or stress. You could say, oh, I worked so hard this week. I did so great. I took sugar out. I definitely can do a little something, which you can, and that's fine, but make it your favorite thing. And if it's triggering, don't do it. If it's not, just enjoy it. Eat it mindfully. And then if you feel like it's too much, and you need to get away from it, some things you can do, like I said, is getting away from it for 30 minutes, distracting yourself, organizing something, getting out and exercising. You can do some deep breathing and calming mindful breathing, taking deep breaths, 5 to 6 breaths. You can even do compressions on your head as you're breathing, which is super calming. It's amazing how this works. I had a professional therapist tell me that this is so great for anxiety. And I used to do it when I struggled with anxiety. Super helpful when you feel like you're getting wound up. Just compressing your head, taking some deep breaths really helps. You can even compress your hands together to release some of that anxious stress. You can take 5 or 6 breaths. If you need more, you can do that. And compressing about 5 to 6 times, releasing and doing it again. It really, really helps. Even punching something, grab a pillow and just punch into it, or punch into something, doing hard push-ups, anything really hard that's going to release that negative energy can calm your anxiety as well. Okay. And now what I would like to do is practice mindful eating with you all as another tool that you can use if you decide to eat something sweet, or just in general to learn how to eat it mindfully and be in the present moment. Okay, so before I do that, I just want to give you a few more tips, some practical ways to helpfully meet your emotional needs. Reach out to a friend for accountability, comfort, and reassurance. Sometimes when we're craving something sweet or just craving carbs in general, we just might be craving connection, connecting with somebody emotionally. I was telling my group yesterday that just putting your hands on your chest and feeling the warmth and comfort on your chest elevates your oxytocin levels and helps you feel just so good and comfy and cozy, which actually what you might be needing more of. Getting a good hug, a good squeeze from somebody will affect this nerve center in your chest and will help you to feel so much better, get that oxytocin and that serotonin release, and just feeling so good. So, reaching out to a friend for accountability, comfort, and reassurance. Grab a journal, grab a glass of water with some hot tea, take some time to meditate, look inside yourself, and seeing what you really need more of in that moment, and journaling it out. Recite scripture. One a good scripture you can go to that I like is Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. It's helping to rid any of your burdens, keep your eyes focused on what's important to you. Um, and the days are going to go by anyway while you're sugar detoxing, so you might as well make the most of them. Hebrews 12, 1 through 3. Yeah, 12, 1 through 3 is that, how does it go? Can't remember it exactly off the top of my head, but anyway, if I do, I'll tell you. But look it up. Hebrews 12, 1 through 3 will help you to rid your burdens and keep your eyes focused on what's really important to you. Okay, so the other thing you can do is take a hot shower or bath if you're experiencing cravings for some reason that just really is soothing and comforting and helps to release those great hormones that are going to make you feel better. Intentionally set time aside each day to spend time in prayer and meditation. Usually you can do that when you're getting up in the morning or as you're going to bed in the evening. Create a sleep routine that you look forward to. Grab some water or hot tea. Munch on some crunchy veggies if you feel like you need something to eat. Um, get some, take a moment as you're getting ready for bed to sip on your tea, do some deep breathing. As you go to sleep, take some magnesium before you go to bed. It'll help you to feel calm and relaxed. Even melatonin supplements will help you to get more calm and relaxed. And you're going to feel more refreshed when you wake up in the morning. And you can wake up in the morning and repeat your same exercise of breathing, prayer, and meditation. And like I said before, if you're really struggling, organize something and just walk away. Walk away from the triggers, the sugar that might be in your life. And the truth is, you have permission to not walk away. You have permission to eat the sweets, to eat the things that you feel like you really need in that moment. And that's okay. Give yourself grace. But if you're going to eat it mindfully and enjoy it fully um, without feeling shame or guilt. And if you're feeling shame and guilt, that's okay too. It's a learning experience. You're learning, and the next day you're going to realize, you know what? I don't need this in my life. Part of moving forward is going back a little bit, kind of backsliding a bit and learning from those mistakes. So give yourself grace if you feel like you falling back into it. Use all of the tools that I've given you. They really do work. They've helped me tremendously break free from my sugar addiction. They've helped so many who I've worked with, and I know that they're going to help you in the same manner. All right. So this week we have learned how to eat whole food and enjoy a low glycemic diet, limiting it to one serving of fruit per day for now. You've learned how to do hard things and live out of your comfort zone. That's probably the biggest thing. It's learning how to do hard things, changing the automatic responses in your brain and building up new pathways that you can do hard things, not just with this, but it's going to extend into other areas of your life. You've learned common reasons for why cravings occur and how to avert them. You've learned how to depend on God when things get hard and use the wisdom that you have learned in this group to overcome cravings and these habits. You've learned how to identify the top emotional triggers for emotional eating and how to manage them without using food. You've learned how to manage your hunger and bring those hunger hormone levels, the ghrelin levels down and avoid overeating or over calorie consumption. You've learned how to release fat by eating whole food and keeping your blood sugar levels steady and your appetite in check. You've learned how to avert cravings and what to eat instead to avert those cravings. You've learned how food can act as a drug and it can affect your mood and how levels of your brain chemical levels can affect your food cravings and how to get comfort without using food. You now know that you aren't alone and that we are experiencing a natural human response. But with God, we can learn differently and we can live above it with the wisdom that He's given us to conquer things that we may feel like we're enslaved to, but no longer have to be. So, um, join us this next Monday. In the next 21 days, we're going to start diving really in deeply. I'm going to be coaching you every day. We're going to be going through my 21-day sugar detox book together. Join with the link I'm going to share with you. There's going to be a few links. There's going to be a link to register, which you need to do first. It's $17. There's also a link to join our group, our Facebook group. And there's also a link for the Facebook event invitation. But if you're wanting to join right away, click on the link that shows for registration and then join the group. And then I'll get you all set up and welcome you when you come right in. So bring a friend, bring a family member, bring your partner if you feel like it would be helpful for you and also for them to be a part of this amazing opportunity to break free from sugar for good, to give yourself grace and to live with it in your life. All right, so let me do a quick little mindfulness eating practice with you all before we go. If you have something around you that you can grab to eat, we're going to practice mindful eating. If you need to go, that's fine. You can come back and watch this later. I know we've been going for a little bit of time now, but I just really want to share this with you. It's going to be super helpful as you break free from sugar and carbohydrates and just food addictions in general. Okay, so if you want to, and you're watching this recording, you can pause it and go grab yourself a little something, maybe a raisin, a nut, a small cookie, something small, actually maybe not a cookie this week, but a raisin or a nut, or maybe a piece of dark chocolate that's 80% or more dark, and bring that over. So I'll give you a minute to grab few seconds to grab that, and then we're going to utilize this food to practice mindful eating. Okay, so once you have that, go ahead and put it in your fingers. You're going to explore this little piece of food using as many of your senses as possible. So again, take a look at your food and explore it with as many of your senses as possible. First, look at the food. I want you to notice its texture, notice its color. And then once you've done that, close your eyes and explore the food with your sense of touch. What does the food feel like? Does it feel soft? Does it feel hard? Does it feel sticky, kind of grainy? Does it feel moist? Does it feel dry? What do you feel between your fingertips? Notice that that you're not being asked to think, but just to notice the different aspects of your experience, using one sense at a time and just noticing. This is really what it means to eat mindfully, just being aware of your present moment. So before you eat it, explore the food with your sense of smell. Go ahead and put it up to your nose. And what do you notice? What do you notice about the smell of the food? What does it smell like? Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take a bite, but I want you to take a small bite because we're going to take 2 bites. So now begin to take 1 bite and before you swallow it, start to explore it with your mouth. What does it feel like? Start chewing very slowly. Notice the actual sensory experience of chewing and tasting. Remember that you don't need to think about your food to experience it. You might want to close your eyes for a moment and focus on the sensations of chewing and tasting before you're continuing. Notice the texture of the food, the way it feels in your mouth. Notice if the intensity of its flavor changes moment by moment. Take about 20 more seconds to very slowly finish your first bite of food, being aware of the simple sensations of chewing and tasting. It isn't always necessary to eat this slow in order to eat with mindfulness, but it's helpful to eat this slow at first to get a real idea of what it feels like to eat mindfully and know that you can eat mindfully. All right, now once you've done that, go ahead and take your second bite. Maybe it's your last bite. Go ahead and put it in your mouth. And as before, chew very slowly while paying close attention to the actual sensory experience of eating, the sensations and movements of chewing, the flavor of the food as it changes, and the sensation of swallowing. So just pay attention moment by moment and see how the flavor might change in your mouth. If you have a different taste at this point, even if it's the same thing, see if you're experiencing the food differently as you roll it through your mouth a second time. Using a mindfulness eating exercise on a regular basis is only one part of the mindfulness eating approach. The liberating power of mindfulness takes a deeper effect when you begin to pay mindful attention to your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations, all of which lead us to eat. Mindfulness is awareness, and it's a foundation that many people have been missing for overcoming overeating, eating too quickly, food cravings, addictive eating, binge eating, emotional eating, and stress eating. Many times when we're eating stressed, we're eating emotionally, we're binge eating, it's happening quickly. Binge eating doesn't happen slowly, it always happens quickly. And the foods that we're craving, those foods come to our mind quickly. It's not just over time, which it actually is what normal eating or normal hunger is we're getting hungry over time. With emotional eating, it's instantaneous, it happens quickly, it's kind of a knee jerk reaction to an emotion. That's how you'll recognize it. It happens quickly. But like I said, if you take 30 minutes, go away, once you realize it's coming on quickly, you know right away it's emotional eating. Put your hands on your head, calm yourself, take some deep breaths, walk away. And if you decide 30 minutes later after you come back that you still want that food because you're hungry, you might notice that because you're hungry, it might not actually want that particular food anymore. You just want more of a balanced meal. But if you still want that sugary treat or carby food, sit with it and eat it mindfully, just like we did. Get nice plate, grab a placemat, fork and knife, and eat it slowly. You can cut it, you can feel it in your fingers, take a look at it, observe it, eat it mindfully. And you're going to notice when you slow down that it completely changes the experience and it'll diffuse your emotions and you're just going to feel better overall. So, anyway, thank you so much for being part of this amazing group this week. I am excited to see you all in the 21-day group we have coming up on Monday. It's going to be an amazing experience. And make sure you join us. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. I have my YouTube channel with lots of other great videos on there that you can find if you need help with overcoming sugar. And I will see you on Monday or in our Facebook community. I'm excited to share more with you and help you overcome anything that you need help overcoming and living out the life that you deserve. All right, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.